background. Okay, so welcome to our Wednesdays Activate Your Power. We are so grateful that all of you are here. We are mighty in our numbers, and tonight we are talking about the power of wisdom. Wisdom is that blending of the head and the heart. And tonight we're going to talk about wisdom from several different speakers, and I'm sure we're going to hear about the human experience, we're going to hear about the spiritual experience, and we're going to learn how to combine those together and make them work in our lives in a very fluid way. So we're going to start with our intentional healer, Izzy Black, and she's going to share her voice on wisdom. Come on up.
Hello, thank you again everybody for being here tonight and everybody for joining us on live. I want to first and foremost say thank you to Reverend Elisa for hosting us every second Wednesday in 2023 and for being our MC. We feel so blessed to have you here and for you to contribute what you are contributing, and we're just getting started because I know that you've already helped me so much this year with getting in tune with my powers and understanding them and how to utilize them. So I want to say thank you very much. I also want to say a special thank you to Reverend Randy, since we have him here today. If he could come up real quick. I didn't tell you I was going to do this.
Absolutely not.
But I'm really happy to see you again. Like you said, we haven't seen each other. We both have been very busy. But the truth is that Reverend Randy's wisdom 2 years ago when I met him, he showed for me a good sign of what wisdom looks like, because when we met, we both had new passions going on within us. And when I came to him with ideas, not just Activate Your Power Now, but other ideas, he was always open and willing to listen and hear, and then always ask, well, what can we do next? So I'm very grateful that you opened your heart, that you opened your church, that you opened your congregation and your community. And we're so blessed to be here. We're just getting started. But none of this would be without your wisdom of opening up your heart and everything that you had to us blindly.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And it was very blindly. You know, he didn't know me, but he understood that for us to make change, it requires us to be united in numbers. We're not going to make this change alone. So again, I want to thank Unity Southeast for allowing us to host our 16th event here in Kansas City, Missouri. So we still have lots of great things to come. So again, I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or Izzy, the intentional healer. And how I am an intentional healer is because I first have made the choice to heal myself. Through all of my generational traumas, the cycles I've been participating in, the cycles I created. Yes, I created my own cycles for my family while I was trying to heal from the cycles that my family brought on to me. So accountability is where I had to start, okay? I had to say finally that maybe I'm part of the problem. That's not an easy thing to do. Today we're talking about wisdom. And I've shared with you bits and pieces of my story the last 16 months and how I've gone through a lot of traumatic things, abuse of all forms. And my abuser, one of my biggest abusers was my father. And that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. We tend to think that wisdom comes with age, right? Our parents are older than us, they know better. Our teachers were older than us, they knew better. Our family members, they were older, so they knew better. We had to sit quietly, listen to them tell us how we needed to live, how I needed to live my life, so that I could be a good, productive human being in society. There's one thing always about me, though. If I didn't resonate with the energy that was going on around me, I just couldn't conform. So I was always considered a very problematic person, ever since I was a young girl. So where I first started getting insight as a young girl that wisdom had nothing to do with age was watching my father maneuver in life. So I was his youngest child of 3 with his first marriage, and he was a single father to us 3 children for a couple of years. And every time he would be doing something that I thought he shouldn't be doing, I was the one who utilized my voice and shared it with other people so that he could maybe get some help. Well, that didn't serve me very well, because he had already trained us to keep our mouths shut. But he also trained us not to fear anything in life. So I was grateful for that knowledge as well, because again, every time I would see him stepping out of alignment of what he was teaching us, I was the one to ask questions. How does this fit? How is this integrity when you just taught us integrity and this doesn't fit? Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a deep breath real quick. This is not an easy subject for me to talk about. So that relationship with my father, like I said, as a young girl, where I was always standing up to him, even though I would pay consequences. I didn't keep my mouth shut, and it didn't change as I got older. As he continued to abuse people in the family and abuse my children and abuse me mentally as an adult, I still stood up to him. And because of that, we had a very toxic relationship where we'd speak for a couple years and then we wouldn't speak for a couple of years. After getting diagnosed with cancer in 2020, to my surprise, I had already started living my intentional life, doing life on purpose with purpose. And out of nowhere, he started reaching out to me. He hadn't spoken to me for a couple of years. And he started asking my advice, which was totally weird, on what I believed what the difference of joy and happiness is. Now keep in mind, my father is somebody who taught us 3 children when we were younger, and my 3 younger brothers after us, that there's no such thing as love. Love is a fairy tale. Love hurts. So when he was reaching out to me, asking my opinion of happiness and joy, I meditated on that. because I knew how crucial the answer was going to be to my father. That let me know that Spirit was working within him. He was seeking new truth at 60 years old. I'm going to go ahead and read you what my response to him was. And this was a couple years ago. And then I'm going to share with you of what wisdom means to me in regards to this. So I told him, it is my belief that joy is the happiness we receive through experiencing and acknowledging God's truth. We can be intentional and decide to be happy or have a good attitude toward life, even when it feels like things are falling apart. But when you seek God as your guider and provider daily, and you listen closely for his response, wait patiently for his guidance, and put full faith into where he leads you, even when it doesn't make sense, he will turn that happiness into joy. Joy is uncontainable. Joy brightens any darkness. Joy inspires others, and on and on. Once we attain joy, we are forced to be reckoned with.
We are.
As we are in full armor, ready for the battlefield.
Yes.
He thanked me, and he agreed with me on this. After sitting with that and spending more time with wisdom, wisdom ended up being my 2022 word. And what Spirit wanted me to take note on wisdom when I made that my focus on my intentionality for the year was that wisdom had nothing to do with age. It had nothing to do with tenure. It has nothing to do with what you've been through or how much you've been through or what you've overcome. Yet it has everything to do with what you choose to do with that time, tenure, and experience. So wisdom, to me, is simply a belief in truth. And then when you believe in truth, we need an action after that, right? We need to be able to know that what you believe to be true is really true by your actions. So again, I'm sharing a story with you of my father, someone who's been very broken from a very young age. He used to get tied up outside like a dog, being accused of having demons in him, not being fed. He too was abused. But it doesn't matter what you've been through or what you're going through. God has a purpose for you. He has a purpose for my father, and he has a purpose for me. So I'm going to sit peacefully in my wisdom of that truth. So I want to thank you again all for being here tonight and for attending online. I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Izzy. That was very courageous of you to open up and share a truth example of what wisdom is. A space, because I said it was that blending of the head and the heart when we first started. And it's true. We can't change others and all those outer appearances that are happening around us. But we can look inside ourselves, and as you demonstrated as an intentional healer, and in your message to your Father, and even in his response, you changed who you were as the intentional healer, and you shared that wisdom, because wisdom in a spiritual way is that knowing that you know. It's beyond anything that anybody can give you in a book. It's truth, and it's absolute truth. And in unity, when we're talking about wisdom, we often have a place in our body of where we feel it or where it exists. And wisdom is in that pit of our stomach. And in the pit of our stomach, I like to sometimes call it our gizzard, because you get that feeling, you get that wrestling and that stirring feeling, and you think, what is mine to do? What's next? And so that's where those words showed up in your text to your Father. That's where our words show up, and we don't think we have the words to say. It's that knowing that we know, and to express as love through our headspace. That is that blending of the head and the heart. So thank you again for that. Next up, we're going to invite Bill Kimball up to the stage. He is a builder of communities. And when I think of a building of communities, one of my favorite movies is Labyrinth. I don't know if you've seen it. It had David Bowie in it, and I just love it. It's a musical, okay? And there is this wisdom soothsayer in the movie, and he has a hat on his head, and it's a bird. And so the wisdom speaker is speaking, and the bird and him are arguing back and forth. Where the girl, that the star of the show, she's coming up to him, and she's saying, "I'm lost. I can't figure this out. I don't know what is mine to do." And they're arguing back and forth, and then it stops, and then the man looks at her and he says, "Sometimes the way forward is the way back. Sometimes the way forward is the way back." And the antagonist over here, he's telling her, as she's dropping a ring off her hand into the little boxes, the bird says, "Pay up." And she's like, "What'd you do that for? He didn't tell you nothing." So Bill Kimball, come on up and share with us wisdom, showing us the building of communities. Sometimes the way forward is the way back.
I appreciate the opportunity to come up here and speak.
You gotta turn it on.
Okay, Bill Kimball's my name, and I appreciate the opportunity to come up and speak today. And I'm grateful to Pastor Randy for inviting us in and letting us fellowship in here in this church. And I'm humbled by the opportunity to come and speak. When they told me the topic was on wisdom, I called Brent and I said, "Are they sure they want me?" For somebody who with the checkered past that I've had, in and out of the streets my whole entire life, I said, some people would consider me like foolish. I said, but wisdom? I said, wow, that's a heck of a topic to talk about. And I said, well, even in prison, I learned something. You know, even in prison, I learned about myself. I learned how to internalize, I learned how to be responsible, and I learned how to look in my own life and take control of it by redirecting where I go. It's my choice what I say. It's my choice what I do. What I do tomorrow, if God wakes me up, it's my choice what I do. I tell people the story a lot that I was one of the few people in prison that was actually guilty. Because everybody had an excuse in there. Oh, it was the crooked cop, or my girlfriend did this, or my partner left it in it. What about you? What about you? Just so happens you've been down 3-4 times. Each time you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. No, we have to start learning how to take responsibility. Yes. You know, so to me, wisdom, one of the first things for wisdom, in my opinion, wisdom is knowing that you are an example. Whether you're a good example or a bad example, you're going to be an example. Yeah. But wisdom is knowing that you're an example. Then you can take responsibility for your actions because you know it. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, somebody is watching you. You know, I pick, my daughter goes to school right across the street in pre-K, and I pick her up, and she repeats. She's like a tape recorder. She repeats everything I say. So if I say something bad, she's gonna repeat it. I have to be a better example, you know, or a good example. We have to be conscious of being an example at all times. Wisdom is having realistic expectations. When I was growing up, your family, everybody said, we want my son to be a lawyer, my daughter to be a doctor. Everybody's not gonna be a lawyer or a doctor, you know? And some people just don't have the mental fortitude for all that type of stuff. Everybody don't wanna go to college, but you can't have unrealistic expectations and then think that your life is gonna be productive. You'll go through life always feeling down on yourself like you never measured up. I never measured up to what my mother wanted me to be. I never measured up to what my father wanted me to be. Have realistic expectations. Set realistic goals, achievable goals, and then celebrate your goals. Celebrate. That's one thing I didn't do. I didn't used to celebrate like I should have. So today, I signed a contract. I might have a drink later on or something. Whatever the celebration is, you know, wisdom is enjoying your life. Enjoy your life. You don't always have to be stressed out. You don't always have to be ripping and running, trying to live life on the edge all the time. Enjoy your life. Take some vacations. Read a book. You know, sit on your patio on your porch and just drink some lemonade. Enjoy your life. We don't have to be as stressed out as we make it seem. It's not as hard as we try to make it. Now, back in my day, I used to make it real hard. I look back and I say, I don't even know how I live like that. Man, you know, I should have way more gray hairs than I already had. But and one of the biggest things is, to me, wisdom is being able to pick and choose your battles. Every battle is not worth fighting. It could be something at your job. You know, somebody you trained is about to be your supervisor or something. That might be a battle that's worth fighting, but then again, it might not. Maybe you're not the best employee. You see what I'm saying? I had an employee like that. I brought another guy in. He's ready to quit because I put somebody else ahead of him. But the other guy is way more knowledgeable. Have a way better foundation. So it's not that he's a better person. It's just he has a better foundation and his knowledge base is better. But every battle is not worthy to fight. You know, I look at myself in my relationships, you know, my personal relationship, you know, with my young lady that I've been dating for years. Every battle is not worth me fighting. Sometimes, okay, that's fine. I should learn how to do that more. You know, so now I look back, even if I feel I'm right, because sometimes I really want to say, yeah, I'm right, you know. But even when I'm right, I'm really not right. Because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's not my words. Those are not my words. Because I used to say, at first you told me that it's my words. What you're saying to me makes a difference. So now you're saying to me, it's not your words, it's how you say it. Wisdom is knowing that. Wisdom is knowing that every battle doesn't have to turn into a war. You know, sometimes you can sit down and you can compromise. You know, I have a family member that has a dispute with their neighbor. So maybe we can talk. Maybe you don't have to keep calling the city on them. That's what's pissing them off, making them mad, you know? So you get them mad, they get you mad, everybody's disrespectful. But we can learn how to not do that. So to me, that's what wisdom is. And finally, wisdom is believing in a power greater than yourself. Wisdom, you can call it God, whatever it is, it's a power greater than yourself. When you get angry and frustrated, when you just can't take it no more. Wisdom is knowing that something inside of you can help cool you down and settle you down and put you on that right path, that path to righteousness. You know, and a lot of times is in our younger age, we don't really get it. We don't really get it. You know, it's always a lot of stress, a lot of turbulence, a lot of movement. As you get older as you get more wiser. You understand that you really don't know what you thought you knew, for one. But you understand and just sit back and enjoy life a little bit more. Don't fight every battle. Say, okay, you know, maybe you want barbecue tonight and maybe you may want Chinese food. Just say, okay, sometimes. It's not worth the battle every time. Well, we ate what you wanted last time. No, just eat it. Just be happy. You know. So it was a shock to me at first when they said the topic would be wisdom, for me to talk about wisdom. But as I internalize it and look at my life, you know, each one of us has wisdom in us in different amounts, and we exert it on people at different times. But we need to be mindful that we are the example, whether it's a good example or a bad example. That's what wisdom is. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. That was a good reminder. As I can see when I was told how to introduce you as the builder of communities, and you are at the right place at the right time. That is why you were asked here to come and share your wisdom. Because another word for wisdom that we look at here in Unity is judgment. And like it or not, we're judging fools. We don't want to be, but we're always trying to decide, do we want to do this? Do we want to, from the moment we get out of bed, do I look good in this shirt? No, I'm changing. How many times do we change in the morning? How many times do we look in the mirror? How many times do we go back in because we forgot something that we think we should have had, but we could have gotten along all along without, right? So, and you also brought up another good point about awareness. Wisdom is that awareness. It's that divine awareness that is in, showing up in, through, and as us. Because we are these spiritual beings living out this human experience. And sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes, like you said, it can be quite colorful. And we have all these different things that have touched our lives and we're thinking, why? Why? And then when we rest into the awareness and when we rest into that absolute truth that is wisdom, that is love, we know that it helped build us. It helped build us and it helps us to build each other. And that's what community is. So thank you for your sharing tonight. Yes. So wisdom. Wisdom is that awareness that draws us in, that is, it's our way to seek and to find, and it's knowing that we know, that internal knowing, that trusting, that yes, I have it all on. So we're going to take a mindful moment. Before we do, I'm going to share with you how the evening will look after this. We'll take a mindful moment that might last about 10 minutes. Then we'll take about a 10-minute break, and then we have a couple more speakers. So I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. And as you do, you might find your feet a spot that firmly places them on the ground. And as these beautiful beings that you are, you find your feet, getting them in a space in which you rest, where your body is just rested into your seat, and you begin to breathe. And in our awareness of breath, it's not just breath, it's a conscious breath. You're breathing in, and you're releasing. And we're going to do this on counts of 4. You're going to breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that together a few times. In. Exhale. And hold. In. And hold. And release. In. And release. And with each and every breath and every moment of hold, you're feeling that power garner through your body as the very vessel in which spirit shows up, moves, and has its being. In and out. For in this awareness, beyond all the outer appearances, beyond all the outer happenings, you know you are in the right place at the perfect and right time, which is right here and right now. As a divine, imperfectly perfect, beautiful expression, we bring our past into our present, and we bring our future into the imaginings of the present, knowing that it is oh so good. We let go of that which no longer serves us, and holding an innate truth, the absolute truth, which is wisdom and which is love that is percolating and expressing as you. And as you continue to breathe, you see this flame that is within yourself begin to expand. And with every in-breath and out-breath, you see that expansion spreading outward. A magnificent, beautiful, amazing light. And that light begins to encompass you as an infinite circle. A place that is safe, a place that is warm. A place of fullest expression. And as that circle widens, it begins to touch the circle of that which is next to you. Until all of the energies are connected in a single imprint, in a single space and time, which is now, which is bold, which is bright, which is boundless. And as that light grows, it continues to expand. Reaching down into the depths of our understanding and up into the heavens, which surpasses understanding, and that which is the absolute truth. Here we wait. Here we feel that power in the core of our being. And as our hands are outstretched, we feel that surge expressing as us. And the circle that is expanding starts to come back in. For in the imprint, whether we are touching one another or not, it's been made. And as that light folds itself back in, and encases the very physical body and expression that is right here before us, we feel that infinite infinite power, that expansive love in the vessel in which sits and stands right here and right now. And together we speak the name of our expression into our space, breathing in and out. Elissa. You speak your name and you speak it loud. You speak it with an awareness of who and what you are. You speak it into our space. We hear your names. Yuzi, Day, Imani, Viviana, Randy, and Jen, Patricia, and Julia, Mark, Brenda. Speak your names and speak them loud. For all of us are these infinite, beautiful, perfected expressions, showing up in this divine awareness as love and as wisdom. For this we give thanks and outwardly say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Amen. Thank you. So we'll take a little bit of a break and we'll return.
Somebody's calling.
This is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody online, I just want to touch base. We had our intermission and we actually had a car accident happen right in front with some of our speakers, with one of our speakers' vehicle. So we're gonna go ahead and end the event for tonight, so my apologies for this, but I'll keep everybody updated. Everybody's fine, there's nobody hurt, but we have some stuff to take care of. So everybody have a great night. We can't wait to see you on Saturday.
I will edit this part out.